What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to work with hiding API keys, secrets from the frontend as well as from the browser. As you can see that sometimes we work with frontend applications where we have the usage of API keys and secrets. So for example, we try to hide these things from the frontend or maybe from pushing it to GitHub. So what we do is we create an environment file that is .env, and we store these keys and secrets here, as you can see, and then we call it from these APIs. So actually we use a git ignore file, if you can see here, and we have enlisted the .env here so that when we push this code to GitHub, the .env file does not get pushed, and these APIs, the secrets and the API keys, do not get pushed to GitHub as well. But that's not how we make it safe actually, because as this is a front-end application, and as you can see that we run this application from these keys and values from the front end. So if you can see that this application is already run, and if I go to the browser, you can see that this is just a small website of searching different sort of recipes, and by default the value of chicken has been set, because when the application starts, the value of chicken is set as the query and different recipes of chicken are published. So if I show you the API, so basically this is the API that we are searching for. As you can see that the search queue is for the query, and by query it's set to chicken as default by use state, and we can change it in the search box. And these are the ID and API app ID and app key, which are taken from this API, and these are coming from the .environment file, as you can see here. But if I show it to you in the browser, like if I go to the sources, and if you can see that localhost 3000, then static.js, if I go there and if I go to the main.chunk.js, I'll just make it a little bit bigger for you guys to see. So you can see here actually that these are the things, the API app ID and app key. If I move in a little bit, there you go. This is the app key, app ID. I'll make it a little bit bigger. So this is the app ID there. This is the key. So the thing is, as you can see that this is not completely hidden from the front end. And thing is, if anybody can view it, or if you deploy it somewhere, somehow anybody can look for it, and they will be able to use your API keys and secrets, or in this case the app ID and the app key. Because when we register for an API or using an API, we sort of get a key, a value, or some other secrets, but this comes with some plans or some daily limits or some monthly limits. But if you overcome or cross that limit, you do have to make some payments. So if this comes out in public, somebody else might be using your credentials, and then they will be using as much as they want. Ultimately, they won't be the ones to be paying. You are the one to be paying. Once you wake up in one morning and you find your bank account sending you a message like you have a huge bill, and it has all come from the API, like whatever it is, in this case edamame. So what we want to do is we will be hiding this, and I'm going to show you in this video how we can do it. So for now, let's just close it like this, and let's get back to the code. So as you can see, what I already did here is I have created a folder called client, or you can call it something else like frontend or something, so that you can understand. And what you do is you put everything belonging to this application, or every single files and folders, into the client folder. And then outside the client folder, you're going to create another folder which is called server, because you might do it in some other way, but I like to do it in this way. That's why I like organizing this stuff. So as you can see that I have the server folder here, and I will be opening another terminal from here. Now I'll go inside the server folder, and there I will be creating a node application with npm init -y. So it will be just created like that. Okay, so now as we have this, as you can see, we are going to install some of the packages or some of the dependencies that we need. So first of all, we will be installing Axios. We will need Express. Then we will also need .env. These are some of the dependencies that we will be using. So by Axios, we are going to fetch the API data in the backend that we are actually fetching the data in the front end right now. We're going to fetch the exact data from the backend here, and the other things, as you can see, the .env, we will be using a .env file here as well, and we will be storing the secrets in the .env, and from there we will just fetch or call those data in the backend server folder or server file, and then we will be exporting it in the format of a local API to the front end so that we can access whatever we need here. So as you can see that the dependencies are installed. I need one more thing, that is nodemon, but that will be a dev dependency, so I will be installing it like this. You will be seeing that another one will appear here, which is called dev dependency, and nodemon will be installed just in a few seconds. So there you go. We have the dev dependency and nodemon has been installed. So what we will do first is inside the server, we are going to create a .env file, and we will go to the clients.env file. We are going to copy these things and we're going to paste it in here. I don't need to write React here anymore, so I'll be just removing that, and we are going to specify the port here. So the port will be 5000, like this. Okay, now what we are going to do is we'll create another file in the server, which is called server.js there, and the package.json for the server, we are going to write some scripts. One will be start backend, or we can write start server, and instead of these things we're going to write node server.js, and another one is start dev server. In this case we will write nodemon server.js. okay, so we're going to save this and we will go back to the server. All right, now we are going to import the dependencies that we need, and then we will write the things we need for the server. So at first we need Express, then we will be needing Axios. I did not install one more thing, so I will be installing course as well. We need course because if you know that without course we won't be able to let any other origins or any other URLs or any other sources to hit this API and get the data, retrieve the data. So that's why we will be installing course. So we write npm course and course will be installed. All right, it's already installed, so we can write course equals require course, and we will be requiring the .env. So .env .config. okay, I guess we have all the things we need. Now we will be doing this, and we will have the port. So as we have already .env with config, we have required .env or imported, so we can call the port from the .env file of the server. And if we do not have the port from the env file, we can always go to port 5000, so any of the two. But as we already have set the port in .env inside the server, as you can see here, port 5000, so this will be called first, and the port will be set to 5000, which comes with the value which comes from the .env file. Okay, the next thing that we are going to do is app.use. We will be using course there, like so, And finally, one more line is we need to make the app listen. So it will listen to port. And with that, this is going to make a callback with a simple console log. And inside the console log, it will say server is listening on port. Okay. All right. So now I'm just going to save this and I will be trying to start the server. So as you can see the script, if we go back to the package.json for the server, if you go back, the script for the nodemon server, that is a dev server, is start dev server. If we copy this and let's type npm run start dev server. Okay, so the server has started and it's running fine. Now what we want is this. We will be creating just one single route. So this will be app.get, and here we will be having recipes. This is the endpoint, and we do, as you already know, that we are actually sending queries or the things that we want to search. So we need to send that request from the front end in the form of the URL or a parameter from the URL. So in this case, we will be writing query. So by using this colon before query, this means that this value is a variable and it can change. So we will be having an async await function here, async await request and response. And inside that, what we want to do is this response equals await axios dot get. Okay, now inside this get, I'm going to go back to the app.js from the client. So in the client and source, let's go to the app.js. I'm just going to copy everything from this to this. I'll go back to the server.js in the backend or in the server, and I'm going to paste it like this. Okay, now in this case, there is nothing called query, but as you can see, this query is actually the query that is coming from the front end. Actually, it's coming from the front end. So this will be rick.params.query. I think I will not be writing it like this, so I'll just take those and paste it here. So it will look something like this. So this query will be coming from the front end and it will be used here. And in this case, we don't have React App ID. Instead, we have process.env.appid, which is this one that we have already set. And in case of this, let's just copy process.env dot, let's copy this, and instead of the React part, we can remove this and paste it like this. Okay, so now what we will get is this API will be hit with the query that we are sending, and the ID, app ID and the app key are also set here. For now, let's just, for testing purpose, let's remove this and search for chicken like so. And if we save, okay. Well, I need to write one more thing, is this console log response. So, and save. Okay. So if we hit on, I think I need to change this as well. I don't need this for now. Just if we go and hit with localhost 5000/recipes, then we can see. So like if we go to localhost 5000/recipes, I hope you should be able to see, but let's get back to the app and see if we have any problems or so. But well, nothing will be appearing here, but if you see the console here, we have got a huge amount of things, but basically we need to access this data and then hits. So for that, if we write instead of console log, actually feed in the browser, or maybe you can use some other tools like maybe Postman or Insomnia. You can also do that. In fact, if you can use VS Code for testing APIs as well, but we will be using the browser for now. So what we want is rest.json dot response dot, if you see data here, so response dot data dot hits, and we will console log this as well. But I don't think we need to console log because we can already see that from the browser. So if you save this, okay, there you go. You can actually see the recipes because we have hit this URL localhost 5000/recipes, and we can see different recipes in case of chicken. Actually, there you go, different recipes for chicken. Okay, so let's get back to the code. All right, so for now, if you can see that we are getting the data that we want, so we can stop this console log. And what we want to do is, instead of chicken here, we're going to change this back to request.parents.query, and we will be attaching this to here in the front end, and we will save this. All right, now that we have set the backend, what we want to do, if you have seen the browser, we are going to hit this URL localhost 5000/recipes, then slash whatever the query we are going to pass from the front end. So in this case, if we go back to the code, and we will be going back to app.js. So now we are not going to hit this URL. Instead, we will be hitting somewhere else. So that is HTTP, which will go as //localhost 5000/recipes, then slash we will be passing query. Well, if you see, this is a query that we have already set here as chicken by default for the use state, and then whatever is changed for the search, if you can see that in the get search function, the set query is changed. The value of the query is changed as we search in the search field. Okay, so instead of setting the recipe, we want to see it in the console, what we get. So for that, we want to do is console log, and we want to see what we get from the response at first. Okay, I think the app is going to compile, hopefully without any error. And right now, as we have already, we have the .env file in the backend, and we do not need anything from the front end. So in that case, I think we do not need these lines, the lines where we are importing anything from the .env file. So we will be removing that, and we will remove this import as well. And I don't think we have anything imported from the .env file, so I think we can gracefully remove or delete this .env for the client. So I'm going to delete it. All right, so this has been deleted. Now if you go to the front end, there we will open up the console with inspect, and you can see object appears. This is the object that is coming as we have console logged the response. So if you can see that here, we're console logging the response, and this object has come. So what we want to do is we will be entering this data, so response.data, and inside that data, we are going to fetch all of these things. So in that case, let's go back, and we will console log response.data, and let's see what we get. So if we go back to the browser, there you go. This is what we get. These are the things that we want. So as this already is a list or an array, so what we can do is we can just use this set recipes line, and we do not need hits. Just remove that, and we can also take this console log off and save. Or maybe in other words, I think what we can do is we can just close the server and open it again. Then let's see what we get. By default, the value will be chicken. I hope there won't be any sort of problems. So we will open the inspect as well. So as you can see that we already have the recipes for chicken. And if we search for something else like beef this time and search, I think this will take some time, but still you can see that this works. So the thing is, the main target for us was to hide the API keys, secrets. So if we go back to the sources here and go to the static and main.chunk.js here. So this is the file that has been opened, and if you can see, what we have hit is this. So there you go. It does not show you the recipe. I mean, it does not show you the API keys, the API secrets, or any other thing that is confidential. And it also doesn't show you the API where you are actually hitting and you're getting this data. So what we did to hide the secret values from the front end and the browser is we have created a server. So if we go back to VS Code, we can see that we have actually moved the front-end files into a client folder, and we have created another server folder where we have created a server, which is, well, basically this is sort of a proxy server or a local API that we have created. And instead of hitting the original API from the front end, we are hitting that API in the back end, and then we have made something like this, and we're hitting this proxy server from the front end so that every data is hidden. So basically that's what I wanted to show you, and that's basically it for the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. So if you did, smash that like button, consider subscribing, and comment what you thought. If you have any other ways of doing these or much easier ways of doing this, I hope you can comment below and show it to us. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon. So I'll leave today, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.